Absolute Batman issue 1. I wanted more from this. For those of you that don't know, this is supposed to be like the Ultimate Universe that Marvel started way back in the day and has just recently brought back. So I could see the positive of this being a fresh take on the Great Crusader for a newer generation. But as a long-time Batman reader and seeing many, many different mythos, should I say, I was not crazy about this book. We open up and we find out in this time period, this universe, there's a Bruce Wayne at the zoo, the Gotham Zoo, and of course, sort of like too much on the nose for me. Bats are crazy, and that's supposed to be an what do you call it? A foreshadowing, which I don't care. But I will say I like this, where it's supposed to open up on this happy day, and then we change the channel, the page to the zoo, part 1 of 5. So in terms of visual storytelling, to kind of give this brightness, and then all of a sudden that's good visual storytelling. Now the book's not bad. I enjoy what Scott Snyder writes for the most part, but this one, let me try to think of how I can describe this. Rather than going back to the well and retooling Batman's origin so that they could use the Batman title to sell books, I feel like overall the story beats and ideas are cool. We open up on this agent who's an absent father, goes where the job tells him to go, and he's originally from Gotham, so he's returning to see the filth that it's become. This should have been all these ideas that Scott Snyder did, this would have been great for a brand new character. Now, don't get me wrong, still in DC and Marvel, it still sucks that whenever you create a new character like Tinian did with Punchline, and then one after that, I can't remember her name, Bouncing Betty, something like that. But of course, all those rights revert immediately to DC. So that's why I understand that a lot of writers are reluctant and usually want to go the indie route so that they can keep the rights of their characters. Don't get me wrong. So I don't know if that's the idea. But spoilers, if you don't want to be spoiled on this book and haven't read it yet, pause this review, go get the book if you can, come back, and you're back. So before I reveal who this character is, let's kind of set why everything's coming to Gotham. Hello, Gotham. It's been a long time. So who are you these days? Who have you become while I was gone? You're prettier. I'll give you that. Taller, brighter. But deep down, in this, the way that they do certain elements like the newscasters, I could see them drawing heavily from Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. Party animal gang slaughters, 9 embroil attacks, including 2 police officers. We cut back to the streets. Something's changed. My third lap around, and I still can't find it. Where's your heart? You used to have a center, hot and beating. But something's hollowed you out. I don't think you're going to like me much either. My name's Alfred Pennyworth, and I'm here to do some bad things. So he kind of goes over why he's here. And so essentially, Alfred is still part of like a CIA type operative. I don't know if it's like, it's not Madripoor. What's the word? Interpol. I don't know if it's like Interpol or something like that, but you can see that he's very much like Hit Girl's father, Big Daddy. You can see how he has all these different little cells around the world where he can come to and have what he needs. You can see that he's still trying to get a hold of his daughter, Julia, which in this one, I hate that they kind of have this strained relationship. As where I'm so used to, and this is another thing about Scott Snyder that I kind of want to kick him in the butt for, is during his latter half of his new 52 Batman, where they introduced Julia and she kind of became Penny too. I hate that once they brought Bruce back, or no, after he quote unquote died and just kind of became a common folk, she sort of got pushed to the background. I would have loved, now that we're essentially not going to get Alfred back thanks to the kick in the face that was Batman versus Robin, it would have been great to see Julia come back and be Penny too, just like how she was helping Alfred during Scott Snyder's run in the main continuity. That would have been freaking awesome. Working alongside with Lucius Fox protecting Wayne's wealth. That just would have been a great idea. And plus, it would have helped Bruce have some sort of anchor to Alfred still. But in this universe, they're strained. Alfred's very much an asshole. And then his bike got stolen. He's just like, I hate this town. Another thing, this Absolute Batman, this Ultimate Universe, if they want to get that edgy, they should have put the Black Label moniker on it and actually remove the asterisk and say, I hate this fucking town. I think that would have helped too. That's another thing that kind of crocks my hide. Speaking of Croc's gym. We see this dude going at a punching bag. Super, super swole. And this is Bruce Wayne. So we'll call him Swole Man. And remember at the beginning of the zoo. And we see all these images as he's punching the crap out of the bag. His dad's leading the, the zoo tour. And so we kind of get the idea of what happened, and I don't want to ruin it too much, but we come to learn out that Waylon Jones owns this gym. Him and Bruce are friends. And this is another thing that I think kind of chapped my hide, is apparently in this Ultimate Universe, all of his bad guys he's friends with. Catwoman, I think that's supposed to be Enigma. Not sure who that is, and then obviously that's probably going to be the Joker, and then Croc. I don't like it, guys. Anytime that, even back in the day, like when they first introduced Poison Ivy, the reason that she came onto the scene is because, now granted, remember this was still kind of on the latter half of the Golden Age. Selena, Jesus. Pamela Isley, yeah, wanted to be the number one female fatale villain in Gotham, and so she does this elaborate thing to basically have the other three top tier villainous kill themselves so that she can be the top tier, and really runs Batman through the ringer. He doesn't know anything about it, and that's kind of how Catwoman was originally introduced as well. Just out of nowhere, these characters come up. I think it bothers me from the fact that it's just too convenient. All these villains, and I'm sure they're going to do some sort of emotional thing. But thankfully, silver lining to that is as we cut away, we're introduced to see, I don't give so much of a shit. I don't even remember what the hell the name of this gang is. The Slaughterhouse, whatever. And they're on a boat, which, yes, I know many of us are probably thinking of the Lonely Island. Anyway, they're trying to make a deal with all of the mob bosses. So all the ones that you know of, they're here. The Maronis and the, what's the other one? Starts with an F. Falcone. Falcone and the Maronis are here. And you can see that this new guy, he's trying to basically muscle them out. There's rules, understand? Gotham isn't just Roman. Hey, kiddo. When are y'all coming to dance? Mr. Maroni, Mr. Falcone, what do you say? Shall we? The night is young. It's 3 in the morning. Put that damn kid to bed. Turn that music off and listen to me. Dr. Benjamin, off, please. Okay, I'm listening. And so they basically kind of want him out. It says, get away from here by dawn. You're dead. You hear us? Good idea. Friends, I'm afraid you have me all wrong. History is what I'm all about. That's what I'm celebrating here. It ends. And I just love the one thing I will say, I love the juxtaposition of like this party with these masks to kind of just give you this more enhanced version of like the Uncanny Valley. And so he starts to do a slideshow of all, or not slideshow, but display of all these heads that he's on display, which leads into the insanity of what this gang is. And then we get a very Robert Pattinson, the Batman look. Everyone asking who this Batman is. And here, the artwork is absolutely amazing. Sorry, I don't know where the title card is, guys. We'll try to find it as we go. But everyone's asking what they're going to do about the Batman. and what they're going to do about this new gang. And Jim Gordon is now the mayor. He goes, we're fighting back, but this gang, we have no idea. I run Finger Tailors on 27th every single weekday. For 71 years, I walked to my shop, except the day that my son was born and the day my wife died. 18,000 plus times I've walked there. But I don't walk there anymore. I don't walk anywhere because I'm scared. Even from out here, I can feel it. That mix of fear and rage. The explosive tremble in the air before something bad happens. So the dialogue, the narration is from Alfred's point of view, which is interesting. So we're going to see that basically Alfred did not raise Bruce, which kind of it completely destroys that father-son dynamic that has been so important through the Batman mythos. And again, you can see how the Scott Snyder for this book is leaning heavily into Frank Miller stuff with the reporting, the torn, the torn journal stuff. Now here's where I start to get a little bugged with this book. Where is it? Hold on. There's one panel in particular I wanted to point out, and it just chapped the living crap out of me. Though that is a beautiful image right there, don't get me wrong. Where the hell is it? Hold on. We'll come back if I can't find it. Okay, so I can't find it, but apparently as Batman goes to save this town hall meeting from this new gang, there is one particular panel I really wanted to show, but Batman's standing behind one of the gang members. And again, spoilers, you find out that his cape is sort of like its own mind, like Spawn in a sense. But it's, I don't know what type of technology it is, but when he goes to grab the guy, he goes thwip. And I'm thinking, you couldn't think of any other sound effect to use other than thwip. Because I'm just, now all I'm thinking as Batman now has this animatronic cape, all I'm thinking is like Iron Spider or Spider-Man. And that's not good. When your mind starts drifting, you should be enthralled. And again, here where Batman goes eye to eye with one of these. No, this is Barbara. This is Gordon's daughter. That's Barbara Gordon in this universe. He goes, whatever you hear, do not open this door. And so I think just too many member berries for me for this book. Too much leniency on Frank Miller's Year One and Dark Knight Returns. Alfred kind of being a jackass maliciant is too much of that. If you guys remember the Batman Year One, I can't remember if Jeff Johns did that one. It was okay for what it was, but after that I didn't care anymore. So that's just all I really see here, where Alfred is also supposed to take out the Batman. And you can see that he's stopping, watching what's going on. And again, the action's awesome. The way he just wraps the cape around himself and it's bulletproof. Dynamic paneling. Loving the artwork. Don't get me wrong. I not hating on the artwork whatsoever. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Now, the part that I did laugh at, but I thought was kind of dumb, is this gang member goes, this hand has killed more people than I can count. Now I'm going to give you one chance. Get the fuck out of our way. And so we see him pull out the bat pleaser, or so that's what you think, until you see him grab his chest. Now that's kind of cool. But, because I remember a lot of people were ripping on the cover saying, Batman, swole. You find out why in this book. And he takes out the dude with no compunction. And he goes, I hear they can reattach things sometimes. There's a hospital 3 blocks south of here. Or is it east? I can't seem to remember all of a sudden. But I'd run. The rest of you, I'm going to give you one chance to get the fuck out of my way. So you can see some very much like Todd McFarlane style inspiration here. So like swole Batman with all these really cool styles. Cool idea. But again, I'm thinking that the rest of this is going to become kind of like a DiCaprio Catch Me If You Can type thing, because you can see that Batman just completely obliterates Alfred. And I don't care anymore. There's also a spoil of who this particular character is. I'm not going to give that away. That was another thing that I kind of thought was sort of blah. Different, but blah. And it just essentially, I feel like the rest of this book is going to be more of a Batman versus Alfred than worrying about this cool new gang that has been introduced, which I thought was kind of cool. And even though it's an alternate universe, we get new bad guys for the Batman universe, and I'm always excited about that. That was another thing about Scott Snyder that I wanted to kick him in his backside is we lost Julia Pennyworth, and then we lost Mr. Bloom. And I thought Mr. Bloom was freaking awesome. I think McFarlane released a figure of him. I can't remember. It's in a 2-pack with the Gordon robot. That's why I didn't buy it. But I would love to have a standalone Mr. Bloom figure. Anyway, now we finally come to the credits page. Writer Scott Snyder. Artist Nick Dragotta. Colorist is Frank Martin. Ladders. So we're going to call letters ladders now. Ladders. Clayton Cowles. Here's everyone else working on the book with, of course, the 6,000 variants. And Batman was created by Bill Finger with Bob Kane. I guess I'm old. This could be a Batman for a new generation. But for me, I feel like this was very much a missed opportunity. That's why, and I will eventually go over the comics. I'm too lazy to pull them out of my long box. But that's why I fell in love with the Silencer so damn quick. Because brand new character, depth, interesting, and the ties to the League of Assassins and Talia al Ghul, that was awesome. And a great way to organically bring, oh God, what was her name? What was the Silencer's real name? It wasn't Patience or Hope. It was something like that, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, I feel like this would have been a great way to introduce some new character into the DC universe. And it didn't even have to tie into everything that was DC. It could have been like its own standalone Black Label story. It doesn't always have to tie into the Prime universe. That would have been awesome. All the things that they put Batman to in here would have been great on a brand new character without his cape going thwip. That, I'm not going to lie, that just crawled all over me the wrong way. Like I was just waiting for when he pulled his axe out, I was waiting for it to go snick. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. So yeah, I'm a little hard on this book. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't boring, but I just feel like this is not Batman, and I wish this would have been a brand new character. That would have been friggin' awesome. That's my bottom line argument. What do you guys think? If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop where there's like to get your action figures and comics and grab this series. If you've enjoyed this review/rant, I really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little Bat X next subscribe, that way I can upload content, you guys get notified, come to the channel, and I love talk with y'all. Hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.